Hi everyone, my name is Sam. I am the owner of Comic Sam's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how to make these supernatural earrings, which are themed after the Winchester's anti-possession tattoos. To do this, you will need it's just one, you will need two 30mm hoops, as well as fish hooks, or whatever hook attachment you want to attach to it. You will also need a 2mm crochet hook, an embroidery needle, size 10 crochet thread in whatever color you want the flames to be. Normally I do black, but black yarn is impossible to film, so I'm doing this in red. And a little bit of size 3 crochet thread in the pentagram color. We're going to start off by attaching your crochet thread, the size 10 crochet thread for the flames, to your crochet hook, and then you're going to turn your hoop backwards. Now this doesn't super matter for this pattern because this front piece will be covered by the flames, but in general I just like it when the front piece actually faces the front. So you're going to actually turn it backwards because we're going to have two rows. So the first row will go around this way, and then we're going to chain one and turn our work and then turn it back this way. So you'll want to start it off with it facing backwards. So the back part facing you, the front part facing away from you. And you're going to start by chaining 3. And then you're going to do 37 single crochets around the hoop. So to do that, in order to crochet around the hoop, you have your yarn above the hoop, insert your hook below the hoop. You see your yarn is above the hoop, insert your hook below the hoop like this, yarn over, pull your hook back through, and then yarn over and finish the stitch like so. And this attaches the stitch to the hoop. Once you have crocheted all the way around, again that should be 37 single crochets, we're going to single crochet into the chain 3 that you did at the beginning so that you'll have a total of 40 single crochets all the way around. But make sure that you are crocheting into the chains with the chains covering the front piece, not the back part. So they should be covering the right side of the earrings, not the wrong side. The wrong side is currently facing me. I want to crochet over them, or I want to single crochet them when they're over here. So, see, attach that there, and single crochet. And do that in the other two as well. Again, we're going for a total of 40 single crochets. Now, when you turn it so the right side is facing you, it will look a little funky. It won't cover up. That's fine. It's going to mostly self-correct. So that's normal. And remember, we're going to chain 1 and turn so that the right side is now facing us. Like I said, it looks bad right now over here. That self-corrects. It's fine. We're going to start off by doing a slip stitch in the first stitch, like so. And then we're going to begin the pattern of going around, which will be a large flame and then 3 small flames, and then you're going to repeat that 5 times. Each flame covers 2 stitches, so you do a slip stitch, and then you make the flame and then slip stitch, and then slip stitch, flame, slip stitch, flame, slip stitch. So to start off with the large flame, you are going to slip stitch in the next stitch. So the first two stitches will have slip stitches in them. So slip stitch, chain 5, and then into the chain you are going to do a decrease and then a single crochet and then a double crochet. So slip stitch into this next stitch. It's the second stitch of the round, and then chain 5. And for the large flame, again, it is a decrease, just a normal decrease. I would argue this would be called a single crochet decrease. And then single crochet, and then double crochet into that last chain. Like so. And then to finish off the flame, slip stitch into the next stitch. And then you're going to do 3 small flames. So you're going to do a slip stitch for the first part of the small flame. So a slip stitch, and then the small flames are 4, so you chain 4, and then do a slip stitch, decrease, and a slip stitch. So let me show you what that looks like. So chain 4, and then do a decrease, just like you did with the large flame. But the difference is you don't yarn over again. So you pull through those loops, and then at the same time, pull through the first loop that was on the hook, instead of yarning over like you would normally. And then slip stitch in the last chain, like so, and then slip stitch to the next stitch on the hoop. And you have one little flame. So again, for the little flames, you do slip stitch into the next stitch on the hoop, chain 4, do a slip stitch decrease. So insert your hook into the first chain, technically second chain from your hook, and then the next one, yarn over and pull through all of the loops on your hook, like so. And then slip stitch in the last chain, and then slip stitch into the next stitch on the hoop, like so. And you're going to do one more of these and then repeat the large, small, small pattern. So this is what the first set looks like, and you'll just want to repeat that 5 times all the way around. And then I'll tell you what to do once you get to the end over here. As you can see, we are almost done. We just have one more small flame to do. So insert your hook and do the slip stitch to the first single crochet, and then do your small flame like normal. Chain 4. Oop. Slip stitch, decrease, and slip stitch to the last chain. And then to help this go down, because again it does look a little bit, I don't know if you can see, it looks a little bit funky because this is out of alignment. It helps to, instead of doing your slip stitch for the end of this flame into the slip stitch that we made at the beginning of round 2, I don't know if you can see, but there's a hole right here. Just do your slip stitch through there. Man, not perfect. Not perfect. So when you take your yarn and you cut it like this, it helps to take the end that you have just go through the bottom of the hoop here and up this, and then just cinch it down. And that helps to keep it connected. Like so. We put the other end out through the back here. It can help to weave the ends in a little bit now. Normally, I would not have any of the pentagram color show out the back when I've woven it in, but it's going to show because they're two different colors. If it's the same color, it won't show. When you're weaving it in the back, it'll be invisible. But because this is going to be a different color, it will not be invisible. You'll be able to see it. I think it helps to weave in the ends a little bit then, but I don't actually cut the ends until after I'm done with weaving in the rest, so I'm actually not going to do that one. So once you get to this point, like so, you are ready to add the pentagram. So taking your embroidery needle, so up through the back, from the back to the front here, approximately in the middle, you want to leave a little bit for weaving in the ends. And I like making sure that they go the same way. So you're going to start off with the large flame at the top. And then just make a star, basically. So take your embroidery needle and go through the single crochet from the first round at each of the large flame spots. You'll see me doing some kind of weird movement where sometimes I put the yarn on top and sometimes I put the yarn on the bottom, so I'm like weaving it in and out. That's just because I like making it so each one of them is identical. That's not required if you're not super particular about details like I am. You can just make a star. And you can do it whatever way you prefer to do it. I prefer to do it the way that I'm doing in the video here. That's how I draw stars as well. So just do it the way that you like. But yeah, just make sure you're pulling it tight as you go. That way the star remains nicely shaped and tight. And then just go through the same hole that you came out of originally. Like so. It'll look like this. So you're just going to want to weave in your ends and then add the fish hook. At this point, you're pretty much finished. You can block them if you want. That will help the flame shape stand out more. I would recommend pinning the large flames if you're going to do that. But otherwise, just attach your fish hooks or whatever hook attachment you're doing. And there you go. I hope you liked this pattern. If you did, feel free to give the video a like or my channel a follow. I do post free video patterns there on YouTube occasionally. I also have free written patterns on my blog, which you can find at comicsamscrafts.com, as well as regular paid patterns on all of my platforms, my website, my Etsy, my Ravelry, and my Ribbler.